everybody knew that I was going. Like, in other words, you know, certain people were told and they kept it to themselves, which is kind of crazy. So it was a total surprise for Alexia and Marysol. Some people knew. Like, I know for
Who
sure some people
knew?
knew. Julia knew, and I know Gertie knew because I think not Marysol,
Nicole.
Nicole.
somebody told her. She knew that I was going to be there. She could not have predicted that this would happen, just like Nicole couldn't have predicted this happen. Nicole and I have a friendship separate from this because, and this is complete transparency, her husband, I was his client, but I became his client through like friends. In other words, so we developed a friendly relationship. You know, Cuban lawyer in Miami. I really like Anthony a lot, have a lot of admiration for him. I've been to his office many times. So I remember sitting in his office and him telling me about Nicole. He had been there with her for a while. He's like, you know, my girlfriend, she's an anesthesiologist, she's a doctor, she's so smart, she's whatever. It was just nice. And then when this happened, he called me and told me, what do you know, can you talk to Nicole? Like, I want to make sure that she knows what she's getting into and whatever. And I honestly, for me, Nicole is like the total package. And I really love total package women. In other words, you know, somebody that's smart and pretty and accomplished and all those things. And so for me to be asked to kind of almost mentor somebody like that, why not? And I wasn't going to tell her, do this, do that. I'm not like I'm a veteran housewife, but I'm not a multiple year, you know, housewife. I know what I know. And so we've had lunch, we've had long lunches, we've talked about a lot of things, but in those times that we spoke, we never ever once talked about Alexia. And I did tell her, be careful with Marysol. I did. I'll admit to saying that because Marysol, again, lies a lot and will do whatever. Her default is lie first, you know, and whatever, you know, if you watch her closely in some scenes, you know, you see something in her eyes. It's just, I really honestly believe that she's a very bad human being, but I don't feel that way about Alexia, and I don't feel that way about anybody else there, which is why when Alexia said, you've talked badly about every single person here. Well, first of all, I haven't talked about any of those people ever. I've never said anything about Larsa or Nicole or like none of the new girls. I don't know them. I've never said anything bad about Adriana either. Even when I have a reason to be mad at Adriana, I just feel like Adriana is kind of like aloof and kind of a little bit all over the place, but not malicious or vindictive or anything like that. And so I guess it's where your heart is that makes me whatever. Plus, I made it very clear, you know, I did say I don't know anything about his interest rates or anything like that. I don't know where that's coming from. And that's it. Maybe she's mad at me.
And that's how you know Nicole, because you know Anthony, because you were a client,
Anthony, and then
he asked you
to
mentor Nicole because she
right.
became
He
a
told me,
housewife.
like, you know, talk to her, not like
She won't let you finish the sentence, David. Just know that.
Sorry. He told me that you know, whenever I had a chance to like talk to her and whatever, and it was when she was going to the reunion, right before the reunion, and she had admitted that on the show. She told Andy that I had, but it wasn't out of like, hey, I don't know her, but I like her and she's a smart one, so I'm going to call her so that she can hurt people. Why?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why?
Was there any other advice you gave Nicole other than beware of Marysol?
Have fun.
Not really. Like, I told her to make sure she's going to parlay it into something else, you know, that she checks a lot of boxes, you know. She's beautiful. She can do makeup. She can do skincare. She can do hair. She can do fitness. She can do babies. She can do home. She is the total package and a brand's dream. So you need to stay, you know, 'cause she's like, I don't know if I should do another season. I don't know if whatever, like, stay long enough to make that happen. And let me tell you, people love Nicole. I've always said that the problem with this show is that there aren't enough intelligent women. You know, there's a lot of nonsense and a lot of screaming, and I think we're getting tired of that. And so when you have somebody like that living her life and not and also not show offy, you know, her husband doesn't show up anywhere with watches. We've already seen two watch, you know, bestowments on Alexia. It's like, why? Quiet. Wealth is quiet, you know?
Well, I'm glad you guys love her. I don't know. You know, she says she doesn't have 45 minutes to sit and listen to the Behind the Velvet Rope podcast. I'm not sure exactly how I feel.
That, well, I know. I believe that that's true because, you know, I'm friends with her and she doesn't even listen to my podcast. Like one time, yeah, she doesn't even listen. I don't believe she does. She works. She has a little kid. She's building a house. And I honestly don't think she's that interested. She really isn't.
I always say I would be the same way if I were a housewife. I'd be like, I've already earned a check. It's already cleared.
Yeah.
Press what? I don't want to do any of this.
And honestly, you know, she's having another baby. Do you really think, like, even the fact that heading up to the reunion now, which I think they're filming in a couple of weeks, to be 7 months pregnant during a reunion, that's not, oof, that's not good.
I hope they give her pee breaks.
Yeah. I will forgive her for not listening to the podcast.
Yes, just please try to forgive her. She's a good one.
Because of you and Beba loving her, I will try. What about, you know, do you think then she's being like unfairly blamed? You know, Alexia was screaming, you set me up, you set me up. Yes.
Yes. And I think that even if Adriana came back and said, it was me, it was whatever, they'll still tell her like, yeah, but you know what, you knew, because they are looking for a reason to hate her because they hate her for other reasons. So they need an excuse to pin it on because they want her life, you know, and are jealous of her. That's, I mean, that is the consensus on social media, on blogs, and I do read, you know, there's a lot of people. I don't read, I don't watch, I read, I watch, yes, especially right now, I'm all the mean stuff and all the good stuff, but the majority of the vitriol is towards Alexia. People love Nicole.
They love her. And what? There's the consensus that what? The other girls are jealous because what? She's young, she's gorgeous, beautiful, she's filthy rich.
Yeah. And she's smart and she's a doctor and she's her own, you know, and she's probably bought some of her own cars and properties in her life. In fact, I know that she had rental properties that she had before she met Anthony. She's no dummy.
Do you think, I mean, well, it's not your fault, but do you feel any guilt? And how do you feel about now? Like, it seems like the group is now holding her like she's being ostracized, right? Like
I feel bad. I feel
she's not being invited to something, right?
Yeah.
She has plenty to do. I don't think she missed out much of not going to some party. But I honestly don't, I mean, I'm sure she's upset about it because it's an unjust thing. It's not right because she didn't know. She couldn't have known. If I didn't know, how could she have known? If I didn't know that there would be that kind of reaction, how could she have possibly known? When I've sat and talked to her, we've talked about her plans, her future. You know, I knew she was trying for a baby way before this whole baby with, you know, and I've never discussed that because it was just me and her. And, you know, what do you want to do with this? How do you want to parlay this? You know, how much can you handle? Who's going to try to attack you? You know, and yes, a lot of my predictions have been 100% accurate because there are people that are such real, you know, they're just easy to predict their behavior. And Marysol and Alexia's behavior is super easy to predict. In fact, all of them really, now, you know, except for Gertie, who's a champ. I think everybody else there is very predictable what they're going to do